And now we're going to talk about product accessibility and equality. My name is Mia and I'm here with Bonnie Parisi. Bonnie is the Vice President of Product Accessibility here at Salesforce. Hi Bonnie.
Hi Mia, how are you?
I'm good. Are you getting used to these East Coast hours?
Well, it was a bit of an early morning, but I am heavily caffeinated and ready to go. Looking forward to talking to you today.
Wonderful. Well, I didn't have to yell at anyone to get out of the door or put on their backpacks or wear their shoes, so I'm feeling quite relaxed.
I think you're winning, Mia.
Well, Bonnie, when we think about product accessibility, we often think of it as a checkbox that we do at the end of the development cycle. How do we make sure that we're talking about it from the beginning?
Such a good question, and far too often it is thought of as this thing that you have to validate right at the end. And when you do that, it's too late. You end up shipping problems to your customers and actually create barriers for users that you want to use the product. So it's so important that we drive this shift left mentality. At Salesforce, we talked about accessibility literally from day one. That means when we're ideating, conceptualizing, we're talking about how to ensure an accessible experience. And then that starts with inclusive design. That means we bring people with disabilities into the conversation early on to help that form and shape the insights that we have. Let me give you one example. If you imagine you have fields on a page, and you might envision that a layout would work one way. But when talking to a blind user who uses a screen reader to understand where things are on a page, they may have a very different perspective of an optimized layout. And insights like that actually build better products. We take this information and influence our designs, like I said, but it doesn't stop there. At Salesforce, we bring accessibility to every phase. So that means that we're building, our engineers are developing accessibility in, and then we're testing it and validating it before it goes out to the world, because we really want to ensure that when it does hit production, that all of our customers can get benefit.
Yeah, and with all that you mentioned, we also now have AI. And there's a lot of conversation, right, about how AI is changing the future of work. How do you think AI opens the possibilities, particularly for people with disabilities?
It's so exciting right now. I mean, AI is truly a bridge builder and can create a lot of equity for people in participating in meetings and other sort of forums at work. Imagine being in a meeting and being hard of hearing or deaf. You wouldn't necessarily be able to participate in a conversation. But AI is giving us real-time transcription, and that means that closed captionings are appearing on screen as people are saying the words. It's a great example of how we create inclusivity in the conversation. Or if you're neurodivergent, it may be really hard to take notes while actively participating in the conversation. So that same transcription can also provide summaries and action items so that you don't feel like you have to multitask. But one of the things I think I'm most excited about are things like vision AI. So let's go back to our blind user who might be looking at their finances. Imagine that information. It's really data rich, it may be in tables, it may be in really complicated graphs and charts, and you might want to look at it in different ways. Well, historically, you might need a sighted user to actually come over and help explain that. Imagine that could even actually be an invasion of your own privacy or security. With Vision AI, we're seeing AI as an agent that can collaborate with you, give you the information that you need.
You know when they're about to end. If you know when they're about to
really
end,
make sense
let me
out of
know.
the information, all autonomously and independently. It truly is a game changer.
Well, and you also mentioned something which is closed captioning. I thought I'd share a bit of a personal story. So English is not my first language, and when I was learning English, I used to watch the show Dallas. If you remember the show Dallas.
Oh, you're aging me, Mia. I do remember Dallas.
I used to watch the show Dallas with closed captioning, and it helped me pick up some vocabulary. And I still do closed captioning. It makes my TV experience just seem a little bit more intimate. And so when humans interact with agents in whatever way, how do we ensure that those agents are interacting with humans in the way that humans do?
Yeah, it's a great question, and you just said it so beautifully, in the way that humans, and that's all humans prefer. And again, it really starts in the beginning when we're exploring new patterns for interaction. This is something that hasn't existed, and so it is right for that exploration and research to understand, how do people want to experience these things? And so by doing inclusive research with cohorts that include your entire user population, including people with disabilities, you are going to get insights that you wouldn't otherwise. At Salesforce, we've spent 2 years now and participated with dozens and dozens of people to drive the insights that create a better experience. And so whether that has manifested in a multimodality experience, whether it's speech or voice to text, or even autonomous agents working in the background, we feel confident that we're creating experiences and agentic collaboration that's going to be successful for everyone. And a place where AI can really help drive scale and independence for all people.
Well, for a lot of our leaders watching today, what are the few things that they can take away and start doing right away?
Well, I think the very first thing is to stop looking at accessibility as a checkbox that you have to check at the end of the development lifecycle. We don't want to build artificial accessibility, we don't want to bolt it on. And that means it needs to be part of the conversation from day one. That means inclusive design and inclusive research. And truly what it means is building your team to represent the types of products that you want that are used by everyone. So build teams, including all people with disabilities. And at Salesforce, we truly believe that accessible products are better products for everyone.
Absolutely. Well, Bonnie, this was such a helpful conversation, so timely and really fun. Thank you so much for joining me. Bonnie's actually my neighbor in California, but it took us to fly to DC to get here.
Well, I can't wait to see you on the West Coast, Mia. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. Now, to learn more about product accessibility, please scan the QR code.